Alrighty, so I have my computer open in front of me. We're going to go into Keepa, dive into Keepa's product finder, and I'm going to show you how I go about seeking out of stock items. This is a technique that I do all the time. It's become one of my absolute favorite. So before we dive into Keepa, let me first kind of give an explanation on why it's important or important enough that I feel the need to share it, why it's beneficial, what I've learned from it. So if you think about it, if you can look at products and narrow them down, maybe you have a brand that you do really well with, right? And it has a lot of variations in the beauty category, for instance. What if you can filter them down to be products that are not currently in stock by Amazon or any other new seller? Well, now if you go and find that product somewhere, even at full price, and it's a high demand product, and you can filter it to be that way, then you can probably buy it at retail and still make a nice profit on it. Furthermore, if it's out of stock and you can't find it, you can do things so that you are regularly checking on this product and be the first one to know when it does come back in stock, if it does come back in stock. A lot of times, items that go out of stock kind of get forgotten about on Amazon and in Keepa. People overlook them and they could be out of stock for months at a time. And the product is right there ready to be taken. But because of other people's filters or how they find products, it just slips through the crack. So if you're the first seller to market on an out of stock item or one of the only ones, you're going to have less competition and be able to charge a premium. Okay. So now that I've shared that, let's hop in so you can see the filters in Keepa Product Finder. All right, so here we are in Keepa Product Finder, and I'm not going to overcomplicate this. You can always tweak it and add to it, subtract to it down the road with time. But first, what I'm going to do is run a search for just like a general category, and then we can do a brand, and we're going to dive into the results as well. So really simply, from here from the top, we're going to select Amazon is out of stock and new seller is out of stock. Okay. Then what I like to do is scroll all the way down. There's like a middle section here, title, brand, and more. Okay. So today, what I'm going to do first, again, category, and then what we'll do is a specific brand. All right. So let's do all root category. I'm looking for like beauty. Okay. So beauty and personal care. Let's see subcategories. Maybe makeup could be one. Yeah, there's makeup. Okay. So we have beauty and personal care. We could have left it at that. I did subcategory makeup. So Amazon out of stock, new out of stock in that category. If you look to the right here, that leaves us with 665,000 products. Way too many. Okay, no problem. There's other things we need to do to filter this. So one thing that I like to do that I find to be a great way to narrow this down is to have something with like 10 reviews. Okay. Now look, that brought us down to 16,000, right? And the reason that I like to have reviews because that shows that the product has at one point in time at a minimum been purchased. Okay. Now there's other things you can do too. Like I like to look at, okay, so here we are, list price. Okay. You can do current, you can do 30-day average. Something that I would like to do, keep in mind it's out of stock, right? So doing the current isn't always the best option for this. 30-day or even 90-day average, let's put $40. So it's selling for at least $40 typically. And that brings us down to 854 products, okay? Now, to be honest, I prefer to work individually with the brand so you get a much smaller sample size, but this is enough to get us started. So we can click on find products. But again, I typically like less. So from here, it's currently in order of the current sales rank. Okay. And let's just click on one and see what a chart looks like. Okay. I'm just going to click on this product here, Bare Minerals something. All right. Now you can see here, it's a good selling product, but right here, so this is out of stock. If you hover to make it zoom in, it just came out of stock a couple days ago, June 27th, Tuesday, June 27th. That's literally today. So this was earlier today. It went out of stock. Okay. Let's click on another one. Maybe one's more so this one, okay. You can see the last buyer that had it was April 14th. This chart is much more appealing to me. If it's out of stock from earlier today or yesterday, that doesn't really prove to me that other people are truly out of stock. It could just be stock is on its way in, it hasn't checked in yet. So when there's more consistent laps, I like that, because if I can get my hands on it, probably nobody else has had it. And then you can always, dive in and go further. So it looks like this product was only in stock for this little window right here. And then prior to that, it hadn't been in stock for a long time. So actually in real time, I'm not going to do it here, but if I could find this product, it would be a really good one to find, because when it's in stock, it sells for a premium, and it hasn't really been in stock and it sells really well. And so you have 854 of these to go through, right? And you can filter them down, but I just wanted to show you how you can get to this point, okay? And now I'm going to show you more of what I like to do. So what we're going to do is have Amazon out of stock, new out of stock. So nobody's selling it, okay? I'm going to remove the $40 average. I'll probably do 20, okay? And then I'm going to clear this. And so we're not worried about that. I'm going to go to brand right here, okay? And I'm just thinking one off the top of my head. Let's do some type of well-known beauty product, Maybelline. Okay, Maybelline New York comes up. And as you can see here in the bottom, there's 15 products. And keep in mind, I originally had it set to 2 reviews. When I focus it down to brand, or excuse me, I had it from 10 reviews or higher. When I have it here to just a brand instead of a category, I go all the way down to 2. Okay, so that only increases it by 3, but I don't want to make it as rigorous, because there's still good opportunities in things with less reviews. And so here we have 18. To me, this is like a great sample size, very manageable, that I can go through every single one of these and submerge myself in this brand for that day. And so I would just go starting at the top and see what's going on. So this one, to me, I'm just going to kind of spit out loud what I'm thinking. Amazon's typically honest when it's in stock. They're always selling it, except for this gap and this gap. So even if I got it, I probably wouldn't do it because I'd have a very small window of opportunity. Let's go here. Okay, so here's a product that hasn't been in stock in a really long time. Amazon had it. They sold it for $12.92. Let's see. Overall, that's like the only time it's ever sold. This isn't really just a great example, but if I got my hands on it, I could probably sell it for 20 bucks. I'm just going to go to a middle one here. Let's see. Okay, so the last time this sold, it sold for $44.66. It hasn't been in stock in a while. These are some unique charts, to be honest. Normally, there's like some more history here. So I just want to get one that's a little bit more casual, or normal, I should say. Okay. Here's a good one. All right. So buy box here, $31.99 recently. Then it was out of stock. Before that, it was out of stock. It sold for $36. It was in stock before that. Not a great seller. There was no buy box, $29.92. But you can see here, before it went out of stock the first time, it was selling pretty consistently in this range around $15. So as the price went up, it just wasn't commanding that. But things have changed. It looks like supply has probably gone down drastically. I'm not saying this is a home run, but if I could get my hands on it, I have reason to believe I could sell this for upwards of $40. So based on its historical $15, $20 price point, there would probably be a nice amount of profit there. Let's see here. This one's been out of stock for a while. This one's a little interesting too. I would at least be worth looking into. When it was in stock here, it sold for $29.97. Previously, it was in stock $29.97, sold decently. So again, if I think I can get it, I can also think that I can charge probably the new high, $34, $35, something like that. So the point here is not necessarily that every single item here is a home run, but if you filter them the way I did, it can get you a really, really good starting point. And let's say you come across one of these whose charts you really like. Say, when this is in stock, it's going to sell for a premium. It just hasn't been in stock. Well, rather than just say, forget it, really simply make an Excel sheet or tab in there, the product, the ASIN, a link to where you've seen it. And literally all you can do is every single day or every other day, just check on it. It takes 2 seconds. And when it does finally hit stock, if it does, you'll be first in line. You can buy a decent bit of them and get that no competition, high price point window. And that's why out of stock is so important. It's been a huge part of my business, huge. Now, sometimes if you go too deep or you take too long, people will catch up. Or if you go to a chart where Amazon's typically on, if all of a sudden you can get your product everywhere, which you have to pay attention to, then Amazon will be on there and lower the price again. So I'm not saying go buy 1,000 of them, because people will catch up and you can't always predict when the market will come back. But if you have that window and you do that for a lot of different products and diversify, you have a great chance of making some really nice money being that first one to market. And to take it a step further, what I like to do now, I like to have these products shipped to my house and list them FBM right away. So if I order them on Monday, I can literally have them listed by Tuesday when I get them. And then let's say I order 20 of them. Maybe I keep 5 or 10 of them at my house while I send 10 of them for FBA, so that I can kind of diversify and hedge my bet a little bit. Uh, Recently, I had an example where I did that, and then it took so long to go FBA, people caught up to me. So in hindsight, if I just continued FBM, I would have been better off. But typically, that doesn't happen. I find when there's out of stock, high demand items, Amazon doesn't move them around as much, but I got burned on that one. Contrarily, right now, because of that, I have something I could send in, but I'm just doing all FBM. I'm the only seller. I don't want to give my competition time to catch up. And as soon as they do, then I'll probably send a good chunk into FBA, because FBA gets the advantage, even if it's at a slightly lower price, and I'll still keep a good chunk on hand. So out of stock, Keepa Product Finder. You can go into this, adjust the filters so much. There's so much opportunity here, but it's absolutely something that should be part of your repertoire. I appreciate you guys being here. I'm Jonathan, Duke Does Amazon. We're on Instagram, audio version on podcast, links below for some discounts and codes. Have a great day, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.